We have started with chapter number 10, cell cycle and cell division. In this chapter, cell cycle and cell division, we have finished one kind of a cell division process, and that is a mitosis. Today we have to learn that what is the significance or what is the importance of mitosis, why this mitosis is necessary. So let's discuss the significance of mitosis. The first significance of a mitosis is that you know that every living organism, they start their life from a single cell. We are calling it as a zygote. From this zygote, the multicellular organism is produced. That means many cells are going to be produced. Sometimes it is in billions, trillions, etc. So how these cells are going to be produced? That is by cell division. Which kind of cell division it is? It is through a mitosis. So the mitosis has a role in generation of a multicellular organisms. This is the first significance or the importance of a mitosis process or a cell division process. Okay, so it is important in a cell division. It is important to generate the multicellular organism. This is the importance of a mitosis. The second importance of a mitosis is that it is involved into a cell repair process. Okay, it is involved into a cell repair process. How it is involved into a cell repair process? See, in our body there are few cells. Like for an example, RBCs or the other blood cells. Okay, or you can say the epidermal cell of a skin, or the epidermis. Okay, or the gut wall cell. That means a cell of a stomach and intestine, etc. These are the cells which are periodically shed off. So due to a mitosis process, these cells are replaced or the new cells are going to be generated. Okay, so thus it involves into a cell repair process. Those cells which becomes damaged, or you can say that they are shed off, they are replaced by a new cell by a process called as a mitosis. This is the second significance of a mitosis process. Okay, so I hope so the two significances are clear. First, it is utilized in a generation of multicellular organism, and the second one, it is an important role in a cell repair process to repair the cells or to produces the new cell instead of a damaged and the dead cells. Okay, next, now you also know that growth is a characteristic of a living organism. So what happens? Due to a growth, the size of a cell is increasing. Suppose initially the size is this much. Now it is increasing due to a growth. Okay, it is increasing, and there is a presence of a nucleus. But what happens when the cell is growing like this one? The ratio of nucleus to a cytoplasm, it gets disturbed. But here by a cell division, now there is a division, and due to a division, the two cells are produced. Okay, again the nucleus to a cytoplasm ratio is maintained. Okay, this is the third significance, that it is useful in maintaining the nucleus to a cytoplasmic ratio, because as the growth occurs, the nucleus and cytoplasmic ratio is altered or it gets disturbed, and who will maintain? It is a mitosis or a cell division process that maintains. Okay, next, here one of the characteristics of this mitosis is such that it will maintain the chromosome numbers. Chromosome numbers are maintained. Okay, so this is the beauty of this mitosis process. So what happens? Here the division occurs, but the number of chromosome in both the cell or the daughter cells, that remain the same as it is a parent cell. This is the characteristic of a mitosis. So there is one more significance. Next significance is that, now you know that, suppose you might have seen a plant. The plant is like that, it is growing. There is a growth occurs. The growth occurs vertically as well as horizontally. Both sides growth occurs. And the growth occurs due to a meristematic tissue. It occurs due to a meristematic tissue. What is the characteristic of this meristematic tissue? The meristematic tissue is a constantly dividing tissue. That means they divide. So they divide by which process? they divide by a process called as mitosis, and hence a cell growth or the growth of organism takes place. More specifically, I said a growth of organism occurs. Okay, so this is the meristematic tissue. Okay, so this is about the significance of mitosis. What is the first significance? Here the multicellular organisms are formed due to a mitosis. It has also an important role in the cell repair process like RBC, epidermis, gut wall cells. The growth is a characteristic of a cell, so the size of cell is increasing. That disturbs the ratio of nucleus to a cytoplasm, but by a division process, again the nucleus to cytoplasm ratio that is maintained. Here in a mitosis process, the chromosome numbers are maintained, so no need to worry about the chromosome numbers, and the growth of meristematic tissue occurs due to a mitosis division. So these are the significance or the importance of a mitosis process, what we have learned in the previous session. Okay, clear? Now today we also have to start regarding the new kind of a cell division process, a special kind of a cell division process, and that is a meiosis. So today we will also learn what is a special type of this cell division. It is a meiosis. So let's discuss about the meiosis. So let's discuss about the meiosis process. Meiosis is another kind of a cell division process, but it is a special type of cell division. It is a special type of cell division process. Okay, it is a special type. Okay, so it occurs in which kind of a cells? It occurs in a gametic cells, gametes. Okay, gametic cell perform this process, what we call it as meiosis process. The gametic cell can also be called as reproductive cells. This is the process that performs over here. It occurs in a gametic cell or the reproductive cell. That means a production of a sperm and the production of an ovum that occurs by this kind of a cell division, what we call it as meiosis. But in rest of the other cells, the mitosis process takes place. So remember, meiosis occurs in which cell? It occurs in gametic cell or the reproductive cell, but the mitosis occurs in all other type of a cell. Okay, here it is a special type of a reproduction. Here the chromosome number becomes a half. The number of chromosome are half in daughter cell. Daughter cell means the new cells which are going to be produced. Number of chromosomes are half in daughter cell compared to a parental cell, which from which it divides. Okay, this is the parental cell. The number of chromosome becomes a half. That means, like suppose if you talk about the human being, in human being the number of chromosome is 46. But if you see its gametic cell or the reproductive cell, the number of chromosome becomes a 23. In a sperm or the ovum, the number of chromosome becomes a 23. Half then, this is the parent cell, this is the parent cell. And here it's a daughter cell. So how it becomes a half? It becomes a half through a process called as meiosis. Whereas in mitosis, the number of chromosome remains the same. But in meiosis, the number of chromosome becomes a half compared to a parent cell. Okay. Now here, what is another characteristic? Here, if you see that one parent cell, it generates 4 daughter cells. It generates how much? 4 daughter cells. Okay. Whereas in mitosis, the one parent cell generates only a 2 daughter cell, but in meiosis, one parent cell generates a 4 daughter cells. So this is the some few characteristic of a meiosis. We will discuss all the characteristic of meiosis as a difference, but as of now just learn this meiosis process. It is a special type of reproduction. Okay, it occurs in which kind of a cell? Gametic cell or the reproductive cell. That means a production of a sperm and the ovum that occurs by a meiosis process. In meiosis process, the number of chromosome in a daughter cell becomes a half compared to a parent cell. So that means if you consider that the human parent cell contains a 46, then their reproductive cell like sperm and the ovum, they contains a half chromosome, that is 23, and that is possible due to a meiosis process. Here the one parent cell generates a 4 daughter cell, whereas in mitosis one daughter cell generates a one parent cell generates a 2 daughter cell. Okay, this is the characteristic of a meiosis. Now here the replication occurs one time, but the division occurs at 2 times. Okay, how it differs? So the meiosis process that occurs in a 2-step. Meiosis process, it occurs in a 2-step. Here the division occurs 2 times, so we are calling it as meiosis 1, and the other one is called as meiosis 2. Okay, how many times the division occurs? The division occurs 2 times. First time division is called as meiosis 1, and the another time division is called as meiosis 2. Let us first understand which are the phases. You know the phases of mitosis. Mitosis, it includes prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Similarly, first of all, we try to understand which are the phases of this meiosis, and then we will discuss each phase in detail. Okay? So let's start with the phases. Okay? So which are the phases of meiosis? There are 2 phases of meiosis. The first one is called as meiosis 1. The another one is called as meiosis 2. How many phases? 2 phases, because here the division occurs 2 times. Meiosis 1, meiosis 2. Now what are the subphases? The meiosis 1 is divided into 4 subphases. Okay, starting with first, and that is very easy to remember because you have already learned. Prophase 1. Second is metaphase 1. Third is anaphase 1. And the last one, it's called as telophase 1. Same name as we have done in the mitosis, but just meiosis 1, so we have to add a 1. Prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. Clear? Similarly, the meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 also have same 4 phases. Okay? So which are they? First, prophase 2. Second, metaphase 2. Third, anaphase 2. And the last one, it's called as telophase 2. Clear? Meiosis 2, prophase 2, anaphase 2, and the telophase 2. These are the 4 phases. Clear? I hope so it's understood. Okay, that is very easy. But here, in prophase 1, of meiosis 1, it's again divided into 5 subphases, and you have to remember in a sequence. Prophase 1 of meiosis 1, it divides into 5 phases. First one is leptotin. Okay, first one is leptotin. Second one is zygotin. Third one is paquetin. Fourth one is diplotin, and the last one is diakinesis. These are the 5. Prophase 1, it's divided into 5 subphases: leptotin, zygotin, paquetin, diplotin, and diakinesis. These are the 5 subphases of prophase 1. Okay, so this is about the phases of meiosis. Okay, I again repeat which are the phases. We have to discuss each phase in detail. Meiosis occurs in main 2 phases: meiosis 1, meiosis 2. Okay, meiosis 1, it includes prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. Similarly, meiosis 2 includes prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2. Here the prophase 1 of meiosis 1 divides into how many subphases? 5. Leptotin, zygotin, pectine, diplotin, diakinesis. These are the 5 phases. Okay. So what happens during the meiosis process? Let's understand what happens during the meiosis process. Suppose assume that this is a cell. Okay. So here the division occurs 2 times. This is the first time division. Okay, so the 2 cells are produced, and this is the another time of cell division. Both cells. This is the second division. So this one is the first division. What we are calling it as meiosis 1. And this is the second division. What we call it as meiosis 2. Okay. So now what happens at the end? How many cells are produced? 4 daughter cells are produced. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 daughter cells are produced from one parent cell. Here the number of chromosome is 2n, diploid. Okay. But at the end, how many number of chromosomes are present in daughter cell? There is a half number. Okay. See here it's a 2n. The dot in a parent cell, the 2n number of chromosome in a parent cell, but the daughter cell contains the half the number of chromosome. Half of 2n is n. So n number of chromosome that you can find in a daughter cell. This is the characteristic. And as here the division occurred 2 times, meiosis 1, meiosis 2, how many daughter cells are produced? 4 daughter cells are produced from a single parent cell. But in mitosis, if you compare the mitosis, here the division occurs one time. Okay, and even the chromosome number remains the same as in a parent. So how many daughter cells are produced in a mitosis? This is a mitosis process. In a mitosis process, from one parent cell, this is a parent cell, 2 daughter cells are produced, and the chromosome number in parent and daughter cell remains the same. Okay, why it remains the same? Because here the duplication occurs 1, division occurs 1. But here in meiosis, the duplication occurs 1, but the division occurs 2 times. Okay, that's why the number of chromosome gets a half, and the daughter cells produced are 4. Okay, whereas here the daughter cell produced are 2. So this is a brief overview of meiosis. Okay, so these are the different phases of meiosis. We have to start each and every phase of this. So let's start with the first meiosis 1, and in meiosis 1, first of all we will start with prophase 1. Okay, even in prophase we will start this leptotin, zygotin, pectine, diplotin and diakinesis in a sequence. Okay, so let's start with first. So we start with the first phase of meiosis 1, and this is prophase 1. Okay, so let's discuss which are the different phases. The prophase 1 divides into 5 phases, and this is the longest one, and if you remember this, then it is easy to understand. Leptotin, zygotin, pectine, diplotin and diakinesis. These are the 5 phases of prophase 1. Okay, let's start with the first phase. Okay, that is called as leptotin. What happens in the leptotin? Assume that this is a cell. This is a nucleus. Initially in the nucleus, the chromosome is present, but it is present into an expanded form. This is an expanded form. We are calling it as chromatin. Now what happens in the first phase? What we call it as leptotin. In a leptotin, you know that in a prophase, the most significant activity is condensation of the DNA material. Okay, and the chromatin material gets converted to a chromosome. So here the conversion of chromatin to a chromosome, it starts. Okay, the conversion of chromatin to chromosome starts. Before the leptotin phase, this is a condition. The nucleus contains a DNA in the form of chromatin, that is an expanded form. Now it starts to condense. And here, now you are able to observe. Now you are able to observe the chromosomes. Okay, these are the chromosomes which you can observe. Okay, so the chromatin material gets converted into a chromosome. Okay, this is what happens during the leptotin phase. Which phase? Leptotin. Okay, here if you see the nature of chromosome, okay, here the nature is bivalent chromosomes are observed. Which kind of chromosomes are observed? Bivalent. Bivalent means this kind of chromosomes. Okay, tetravalent, this is a tetravalent. This is tetravalent. Tetravalent nature of chromosome cannot be observed during the prophase 1 or leptotin phase. Okay, specifically I am saying that leptotin phase doesn't shows the tetravalent nature, only which nature is observed? There is a bivalent nature is observed. Okay, so this is what happens in a leptotin phase. Next, after that, the next phase occurs, and the next phase is called as a zygote. Which one is called as a zygote? I again repeat what happens in the leptotin. In the leptotin, the chromatin material starts to condense. I am saying that starts to condense, not finished. Starts to condense, and chromatin material converts to a chromosome. This chromosome material now it starts to observe under a microscope, and here the bivalent nature of a chromosome can be observed. That occurs during the leptotin phase. Okay. Now what happens during the next phase? That's called as the zygote phase. The next phase is zygote. So I am drawing regarding the zygote. Okay. So what happens during the zygote? This is a zygote. In a zygote, the chromosome starts a pairing. You can find this is a pair. This is the another pair. It starts a pair. A pairing occurs. Okay. So the formation of pair takes place. Formation of pair. Okay. And this formation of pairing, or you can simply call as pairing starts. Okay, or pairing occurs. This pairing process is called as synapsis. What it is called as? Synapsis. And this paired chromosome, what these paired chromosomes are called? The paired chromosomes are called as homologous chromosomes. What they are called as? Homologous chromosome. I again repeat what occurs during the next phase. The next phase is zygote. In a zygote phase, the chromosomes start a pair. It starts to form a pair. Pair means a two. Okay. This process, a pairing process, is called as synapsis. Okay. And the paired chromosomes are called as homologous chromosomes. Okay. So these two are called as homologous chromosome. This is also called as homologous chromosome. And this pairing process, it occurs by or finished by formation of synaptonemal complex. Okay, that is achieved by formation of synaptonemal complex. So these events that occur during which phase? Zygote phase. I again repeat what happens. A formation of pair takes place or pairing takes place. This pairing process is called as synapsis. These paired chromosomes are called as homologous chromosomes. Pairing process that is accompanied by formation of synaptonemal complex. A synaptonemal complex is formed. Okay, so these are the events that takes place. Here also you can observe a bivalent nature of chromosome. Bivalent, like this. Bivalent nature is observed. Tetravalent nature is even not observed in a zygote phase. Okay, so this is the characteristic of a zygote. Next phase start. It is called as a Peckytene. The next phase is called as a Peckytene phase. Okay, so we discussed regarding the Peckytene phase. What is a Peckytene phase? In a Peckytene phase, suppose this is a cell and it's a nucleus. In this Peckytene phase, now you can able to see the tetravalent nature of a chromosome, like this. Tetravalent nature. Due to a lack of space, I am just showing you a one pair. Okay, this is a tetravalent nature, or just I am enlarging the nucleus for you. Okay, I am enlarging the nucleus for you. Okay, I am making a bigger nucleus, so I can accommodate the more number of chromosomes. Okay, see here. This is a one pair of chromosome. Now here in Pachytene phase, the tetravalent nature of chromosome can be observed. This is a one pair, this is a second pair, this is a second pair. So this tetravalent nature of a chromosome can be observed during which phase? Pachytene phase. Okay. During this Pachytene phase, there is an appearance of recombinant nodule. What appears? Recombinant nodule. There is an appearance of recombinant nodule. And this is a recombinant nodule is a place on the chromosome where crossing over takes place. A crossing over occurs between two non-sister chromatid. Remember, here what happens? A crossing over takes place between two non-sister chromatids. So what is a crossing over? I am explaining you what is a crossing over. Like suppose this is a one pair. Okay. This is the second chromosome in the pair. Clear? Like such kind of arrangement. This is a one. I am just enlarging this much over here. Okay. So now here clear-cut tetravalent nature is observed. Clear-cut tetravalent nature is observed. Okay. Now during this phase, what happens? A crossing over takes place. Okay. So I am showing you how the crossing over takes place. This is a formation of a cross takes place. Okay. This is called as crossing over. Okay. Two chromosomes, they cross over one another. Okay. But crossing over does not occurs between a two sister chromatid. These two are a sister chromatid. Means this chromatid are of same chromosome. These two are also sister chromatid. But these two are non-sister. Remember here it occurs between a non-sister chromatid. So the crossing over occurs between a non-sister chromatid. It has some information like I am saying here A, G, G, C. Okay, clear? It also has some information C, A, T, T. Okay, some kind of information is present in the form of, because it's a DNA, so I am showing you just a base. So the crossing over takes place between a non-sister chromatid of paired chromosome. Okay, and what is the purpose of this crossing over? Okay, the crossing over that leads to an exchange of a genes. So from this, the G goes over here, A comes over here. Okay, clear? T comes over here. C goes over here. Like such kind of a exchange of genes takes place. What is the purpose of crossing over? The crossing over that leads to a crossing over. It leads to a exchange of genes. Exchange. The exchange of genes takes place, and this is a reason. Due to exchange of genes, it shows the variability. That is a reason why you are not exactly same as your parent. You are not exactly same. You are similar looking your parents. You have characteristic most of similar to your parents, but not exact, because here the crossing over takes place during the meiosis that leads to an exchange of genes. And due to exchange of genes, the variation occurs. Variation. You are somewhat varied from your parent generation. Okay. So this variation is due to exchange of genes that takes place during which phase? Pachytene. And the crossing over takes place at which place? The crossing over takes place at chiasmata. It forms a X-like structure, X-like you can see, X-like structure, crossing over. And this is called as chiasmata. Okay, what it is called as? Chiasmata. Fine. So the crossing over takes place at a chiasmata. The number of chiasmata, it depends on the length of chromosome. As the longer chromosome, the number of chiasmata is higher. If it is a short chromosome, then the number of chromosomes are less. Number of chiasmata are less. So ultimate thing is that the number of chiasmata where the crossing over takes place. Remember, the crossing over takes place at the chiasmata. The number of chiasmata depends on the length of chromosome. If long, then more number of chiasmata. If it is a short, then it is a less number of chiasmata. So this process that occurs during the Peckytene phase. So what happens during the Peckytene phase? There is appearance of recombinant nodules. Okay, here the crossing over takes place between non-sister chromatids. Okay, and the crossing over that is responsible for exchange of genes. Where the crossing over takes place, the crossing over takes place at chiasmata, and the number of chiasmata, it depends on the length of a chromosome. So this is what events that occurs during a Peckytene phase. Which phase? A Peckytene phase. Okay. So these are the events which takes place. Now we have to discuss this diplotin and diakinesis. Okay. Next I am starting with a diplotin phase. What happens during the diplotin? So I am not drawing like whole cell over here. Okay, but remember that the activity occurs in the same way. You have to draw a whole cell and you have to show you. I am just drawing a chromosome. This is a chromosome. Okay, where there is already a crossing over occurs. Clear? Already it has been crossed. Okay. Now what happens during the diakinesis phase? This crossed over chromosome, they start to move away from each other. They start to move away from each other. Okay. See, they start to move away from each other. It starts to move. Okay. But the association at the junction, they are still maintained. What happens during the next phase? That is called as diakinesis. Sorry. It is diplotin. So what happens during the diplotin phase? In a diplotin phase, the chromosome starts to move away from each other. The paired chromosome, they starts to move away from each other. But the association at the chiasmata or the crossing over, that is still maintained. Like say, suppose this is a condition. Okay, I am showing you. Suppose this is a one sister chromatid, this is another. Crossing over takes place. Okay. Now what happens? This chromosome starts to move away from each other. But still the association at the junction that remains as such. So that happens during which phase? It happens during the diplotin phase. Which phase? Diplotin phase. Okay. So these are the events takes place in a diplotin phase. Next, here we are going to start with the next phase and we are calling it as diakinesis. So what happens in the diakinesis phase? So this all happens. Here the chromosome becomes a separated. They becomes a separate. This is one, this is another one. I am drawing a bigger nucleus so it can accommodate. Okay. So the chromosome, they clear cut separated. Here even there is association at the chiasmata, but here the chromosome clear cut separated. Okay. Now what happens? The nucleolus which is present in it, it gets disappeared. The nuclear membrane, it's disintegrate, and now this chromosome that goes into a cytoplasm. So these events that takes place during the diakinesis. Okay. So what happens in a diakinesis? Then I repeat again. In a diakinesis, the chromosome becomes separated totally. The nucleolus disappear and the nuclear membrane disintegrate. Okay, and then the metaphase 1 starts. This is the end of prophase 1. Diakinesis is the end of prophase 1. I again repeat, meiosis occurs in a 2 division, meiosis 1, meiosis 2. We have started a discussion on meiosis 1. Meiosis 1 divided into 4 phases: prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. Okay, we have started even from that prophase 1. Prophase 1 includes 5 phases: leptotin, zygotin, Peckytene, diplotin, diakinesis. What happens during the leptotin? The chromatin material starts to condense or DNA condensed and it forms a chromosome. Here you can observe a bivalent nature of a chromosome and the chromosome starts observing under a microscope. Next, the zygotin. The zygotin phase, here the pairing of chromosome takes place, a formation of a pair. Okay, and this process, pairing process, is called as synapsis. The paired chromosomes are called as homologous chromosome. Okay, and the pairing process that is accompanied by the formation of synaptonemal complex. Here still you can observe a bivalent nature. That clear-cut tetravalent nature cannot be observed. Clear-cut, remember, clear-cut tetravalent nature cannot be observed. This is happened during the zygote. Okay, these are of short durations. Now the long duration of phase start, that is a pectine. What happens in a pectine? There is an appearance of recombinant nodules. Okay, this recombinant nodule formation occurs with the help of enzyme. Which enzyme? I am writing over here. Which enzyme they start this process? Here, recombinase enzyme. This enzyme starts appearance of recombinant nodule. Here in this pectine phase, the crossing over takes place between two non-sister chromatid, and the crossing over is responsible for exchange of genes. Where the crossing over takes place? The crossing over takes place at chiasmata, at the junction, and the number of chiasmata depends on the length of chromosome. After that, in the next phase called as diploting, after the exchange of genes, the crossing over takes place, the exchange of genes occurs. After that, the diploting phase starts. In a diploting phase, the chromosome starts to move away from each other. But here, the association at the chiasmata then remains intact, or it remains as such. Now what happens at diakinesis? In a diakinesis, even it starts to move apart and the association also gets break off. They becomes a separated, nucleolus disappear, nuclear membrane disintegrate, and thus the prophase 1 ends. The prophase 1 may be of long durations. Even in some vertebrates, this prophase 1, it may take months and years to complete. Okay, clear? You know that the whole cell division process, that is a mitosis, it just take a 24 hours. But this is a meiosis process, a special kind of a division process. Even in few animals or few vertebrates, even that prophase remains so long that it can continue up to a months and years. Okay, so this is just about a prophase 1. In the next session, we will learn metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1 sequence wise, and then the whole meiosis 2 with its significance. Okay, so that we will discuss in the next session. Till then students, this is the very much important and the longer sessions which occurs in a meiosis. You have to learn it thoroughly. Keep learning, keep watching, like and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.